Anyway, here is the new theme song I thought of for the PCP. It goes a little something like this. Ah, I would have fucking shit so bad. Thank you.
The PCP makes me come. I'm gonna come right now.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Pro Crastinators podcast. It's me, Ben Saint, and Give and Take.
It's Christmas Eve, Ben.
Oh, will this episode be launching?
This episode will be out on the 24th of December.
On a magical... Well, you know, that's actually perfect, because I have a present. I have a Christmas miracle, a bundle of Christmas joy to deliver on this Christmas Eve. And do you know what that is?
Is it the Phantom's Revenge?
It's Phantom's Revenge in your fucking stocking for fucking Christmas, for fucking Yule, bitch.
You'll be playing.
You'll be taking revenge as Phantom Horn, and killing people. It is like basically done. If I did not have to record this podcast and then do some holiday bullshit today, I would say I am definitely releasing it today when I'm recording this, but I will certainly be releasing it tomorrow at the very latest.
Incredible.
Yeah, so, you know, ho, 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 Merry Christmas! For patrons only, of course, because it is still the beta release. Patreon.com/Ben Saint.
When's the Chad Alpha release coming out?
The chat, I was thinking about this. The chat alpha release will be out when I, once the beta version stays up for patrons for a little while, so they can play it and report any bugs to me. The beta release is the finished version. The alpha version will just be like bug fixed and bug tested a bit, and might have some like minor changes, but like the game will be basically the same. And then I have to draw some pages of Slime and Punishment to basically set up why the events of Phantom's Revenge are happening. So the alpha version I will put out after I do a little bit more Slime and Punishment to, like, you know, basically I have to finish Slime and Punishment, which will not take very long because it's not that much left to it. So then once that's done, then the alpha release, and then maybe in the future when I decide, it would be funny to go back and add in keg mode. Then if I ever decide to add in keg mode, then that will be the Ligma release after that. So, but that's a hypothetical.
Wow.
So that's the plan. Merry Christmas, everybody. I'm very happy. I'm very excited.
I will look forward
tweeting
to playing.
a lot of it. Oh man. I don't know. I don't want to gush too much about it, but I think people will be blown away. I think people will be blown away by certain parts of it. I think there will be parts in it where people like look at it and they like slap their hand on their forehead and they go, I can't believe... Wait,
where they facepalm and I say, I can't believe Ben Saint would do that.
Oh, I can't... Yes, but in like a good way. In a good way. I promise. Yeah. Okay. Other than the fact that I noticed one sprite is like off and I need to fix it, that was like... I was playtesting it last night and there's one sprite. I was like, shit, I gotta fix that one sprite. I'm like, okay. Other than that, it's at the point where literally the only thing that I need to do is just play it through a bunch of times and just decide how many podrins to give in your inventory to make it like balanced and fair. And like all I have to do is decide like, 6 podrins, 7 podrins, 8, and that's it. And that's like the last thing. Very exciting. Very tired. I stayed up all night, almost all night last night, doing that.
Yeah.
I wanted to get it done before today because I got to do shit today, but oh well, it's fine.
How long since the beginning of the project then will it have been?
I thought that I wanted to get it out today, as in the day of recording, because it was the 19th, because I remembered that on December 19th last year, I made a cryptic tweet that said, "I have begun a mysterious construction."
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Right, but I turned out I was wrong, actually, and I made that tweet on December 15th. So it's actually already past the exact 1 year anniversary, which, like, whatever. And actually, it's not even really true, because that was when I started programming the game, but I had already started drawing sprites for it, like, a while before that. Like, I had drawn, some sprites, and just as sort of like a, haha, what if I did this? And then I drew a bunch of sprites, and I was like, yeah, I should actually start working on that, and then I did. So it's been about a year. I worked on it a little bit, like a month or two beforehand, before I actually, so in like the most general sense, I guess maybe like a year and like a month or two, something like that. So it's been about a year, basically. And then, now it's a video game. Yeah. Patreon.com/Ben Saint. If you want to be a beta tester and also get your name in the credits. Oh, Gib turned her microphone off. How strange.
Sorry, somebody came to the door.
Oh, it's okay. It gave me time to plug my shit once more. So that's fine.
Yeah, so that's all epic. I'm glad it's finally
pretty epic.
Getting to a finished state.
Yeah, me too. You and me both. It's been it's been a journey, I tell you. I've literally spent like all of December working on it, like all day, every day. Almost. I mean, not like 24 hours a day, but like, probably about like 8 to 10 hours a day, Sunday through Saturday, except when I go to like work out.
With my secret project is similar in that it has taken a while and it is very close to being finished and showable. But right now, I don't know whether it'll be ready by the time this episode comes out. So I still don't want to I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say a single dang word.
Now don't take this the wrong way, but I know that I was saying that like Phantom's Revenge was almost done since fucking like April. So I don't know.
Well,
I mean, do you really think it's like a week out? Like it's that close?
The bulk of the project, yes. I think the last thing left is like management, like media marketing menagerie. Like it's making it look nice so that because I don't want to just come on to the Pro Crastinators podcast and say, hey, download the thing, link in description. I don't want to I want it to be like a bit bigger than just this podcast reach. And for that, it needs marketing and it needs like a big push. I don't really know how to market. I'm just
how
thinking.
They marketed. Did you know that How They Marketed is a series with a narrative?
I didn't. What was the narrative?
Did you remember that was like the tagline?
I remember the tagline, but I have no idea what it was in reference to. I guess since
it was going to be about the series that Trixie gave up on and didn't finish, just like everything else. Okay, enough about that. When you say you want to do a marketing push and you want it to be bigger and expand the reach, I mean, can you elaborate?
Like it's hard, like curious. Not to spoil it for people who still don't know. I've talked about it on my Patreon. So if you want to,
which I'm caught up with, by the way, I'm caught up on the Money Spenders podcast.
Oh, good. Yes, the Money Spenders podcast over on Give and Take, patreon.com/Give and Take. So I explained what it is, but nobody has seen any of it yet. I think you have seen like a small bit. I've showed you.
You mean the project?
And Tom, but that wasn't.
You mean the secret project?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've seen a little bit of it. But nobody.
Wait, I didn't say. I'm like. I didn't. Have I said anything thus far in the podcast that like alludes to what it is?
No. Hopefully
okay, good.
Not. I mean, I don't really know what the benefit is
of
keeping it super secret.
Whatever. Yeah. Psychological benefit.
Yeah. But
Sure.
I'm very,
I don't
very
think
psyched about it.
Yeah, I don't think I said anything. I was just double checking. Lamau. But
I'm very psyched about it. I wish I could talk about it. I think I've got like family stuff because next week is like the Christmas week. I'm seeing relatives.
I wanted to
cleaning
be
up for
done
like a Christmas
before
party.
that.
We're doing a Christmas party, and then there's Christmas.
Yeah.
So it's hard to like fit in hours to do stuff, but
yeah,
I think still quite possible before the end of the year. It'll be out.
Oh, Pog. That's rad. I mean, for me, I also, I would like for the game to get seen outside of, the PCP circles. So I guess my plan for that is, like, well, I guess I'll make an itch page. I guess I'll. Geez, I wonder if I asked Jim Stormdancer for a plug, if he would like give me a retweet or something on it. That would be cool.
That'd be pretty epic.
I guess I don't know. I guess like I'll put it on my website, whatever that's worth. I'll probably be tweeting about it for a while. I've changed my whole I've changed my avatar and my tagline and stuff on Twitter. Other than like making an itch page, I don't really know how to like, push it in the media in the media landscape.
I think it's weird because like yours is a very specific thing. It is a part of a larger piece, which is a niche of a niche.
Yes.
And so like
it's true.
You need to just trick people into downloading and playing it.
Literally, that's the goal. Phantom's Revenge is a year-long effort post of a Trojan horse to like trick people into playing a game that is narrative heavy to make them wonder like what's the story about, and then go read my comic.
I do think
this is the kind of cheesy Manfredo could learn a thing or two about how to get people to read villain verse.
I was gonna say I think there's a somewhat of a culture on itch for people to just take a random game, buy it or get it, and do like a review or a let's play of it, and then you can see the let's play. Cool. They would post the let's plays underneath. So like when my brother and I made Run Away from Snakes for BEAT-NICONICO, that was on his itch, and people let's played it. People didn't know what the thing was, but it was just like it's a pumpkin girl. She's running away from snakes. Makes sense. And they did a little let's play. It's like very like a very small channel, not like a big deal, but it was nice to see like just random strangers who had no idea what any of this was giving it a go and talking about it.
That is nice. I added, there's a feature in Phantom's Revenge. It does count your playtime. It counts your total playtime before you win, and it counts like the time of your run. Basically, so at the end it displays a little in-game timer. So it's built for speedrunning. Yesterday I was agonizing over like, should I make pausing the game stop the timer, or should I make pausing the game? In the end I decided to make pausing the game not stop the timer, because it just seems like cheating. It's on the one hand it seems like cheating, and like if you pause the game, I don't see why it should like, oh well, this time doesn't count, because it's like a short game. On the other hand, there was sort of a strat. This is all stupid. This is all like assuming that anyone cares to speedrun the game, which would be nice, but like why would I assume that they would? But if they did, there was an advanced strat where you could pause the game right at the end of an attack, and then the attack would complete. And then you would, with the game paused, so you could actually like you could turn the timer off while the attack was completing, in between like when one character's attack begins and the next attack, or one starts and the next one.
Oh, like the animation would continue.
Yes, basically you could use pause exploits to stop the in-game timer during like attack animations is what I'm trying to say.
So so does it not?
I decided
really
to take that
pause?
out because it does pause. It does not, pausing the game does not pause animations. It only pauses like menu inputs basically.
Okay.
So it doesn't really do anything. Actually, since it's a turn-based game, like, you know, you might as well just it opens the menu. It opens the menu and it lets you toggle. It gives you one of the complaints that I had about the game the first time, the alpha, was that it was possible to get to a state where you had no more resources at all and you couldn't do anything. You could not attack. You could not pass the turn. You just had to sit and like look at it. It was a soft lock basically. So in the menu, I added an option to like if you get stuck, you can just restart the run. And also in the menu, there is an option that you can toggle on and off called repeat cutscenes, which is basically if you've been past a section before, you can turn repeat cutscenes off, and then it will skip the dialogue. In that, it will just play the animations and just skip right. You can play it on speed mode. Not the first time you see it. Like the first time you see it, you have to see the dialogue. But like the second and further on times, if you just want to like, because I imagine that probably there would be some people who were playing it over and over again, trying to beat it, and they would get really sick of the dialogue. So I was like, okay, I'll give them an option to just turn it off so they can just kind of like blast through it as fast as is reasonable. So that's really what the pause menu is for. You don't actually need to pause the game for any like practical reason. Yeah. Video games. Man, I don't know. I wonder. You know, I was thinking the probably the biggest effort post I ever made before. Well, I guess. The two biggest effort posts, the first one would probably be Vapors Chapter 1. I worked on that for like 6 months. And then the Champion Chapter 1 was even bigger than that. And I worked on that for almost a year, maybe?
Dang.
I don't even remember. And I hope... I feel like after I released the first Vapors, I feel like that was like a big turning point for me, where suddenly I had done something that I could point at and say, like, this is what I did this thing, this is like something I can sort of hang my hat on and build an identity around, that I made this thing. And I guess I hope that having spent all this time and built Phantom's Revenge, it will do something similar for me. It will be another feather in my cap, so to speak, and it will advance my career online in some meaningful way. I don't know what way exactly, but that's the hope, I guess. I hope it's not all for the sake of like, haha, I made a silly game and it's funny that I did that. Oh well, never mind. You know?
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know, like, commercially how well something like that could do because of how niche it is, but I don't think any of the time spent making like an art piece is necessarily wasted if people, you know, in your audience can like appreciate it.
I guess it would be nice if, like, you know, maybe just people who are into indie games, like the indie gaming scene, maybe noticed it, because it is one such thing of those types. I guess that's what I hope for, is indie game people see it and they're like, hey, that's a game that a guy made and it's pretty cool.
It would be pretty cool to be like, you know, you made your game and then, what was this new Matthew Matosis video? Oh my god.
That'd be neat. I don't know. I think my instinct. I'm gonna make the beta version a little bit easier. The alpha version was really hard. I made some concessions to player ease to like in the alpha. I think I need to make a few more. I think I need to make it even more lenient to make it like playable by human beings. Someone on Twitter asked me like, will this version be playable by humans? I was like, yeah, I don't need to demand perfection. I need to demand perfection from the player. I just want them to I said this before. I just want the game to be, you can't beat it unless you know what you're doing. As long as you need to, as long as to some extent you need to know like what your strategy is for beating it, and that's required to beat it, then like it's okay. That's the threshold of difficulty that I'm looking for.
There's like a couple types of games where like a game where you can be like really bad and still have fun, but if you want to be incredible and do like speedrun stuff, the world's your oyster, and you can really super min-max your movement and stuff like that. Those work good in like 3D games where the amount of places you can be and you know is like very wide, but like moving around a character and just jumping a little bit, that's just generally fun. And then there's like games that you're making where like the skill floor is a little higher, but not too high. I feel like
I hope it won't be too high.
I feel like
I don't want it to be insanely high.
I don't know games of this genre too well. It's kind of like turn-based Final Fantasy-esque stuff, you know, an RPG thing. But Final Fantasy is extremely basic, and you can just go grind out levels and be overpowered if you really need that. This is more like a puzzle game, it seems. Or at least that's what I got from the previous version, where you need to figure out all of the different mechanics in order to figure out the puzzle of what to do.
It is a bit of a puzzle presented as a JRPG menu-based battle.
Yeah.
There's sort of I would say there are a couple different tricks you have to figure out. There's more than I think you would expect. I think you know, like the alpha version, very few people were able to beat it, and those that did, I think all of them had a moment where they thought they figured it out, and then they were like, "Oh, I got it. I get what I need to do." And then they did it. They were like, "So here's what I'm going to do. Here's the plan." And then they did it, and they executed on it perfectly. And then they still lost, and they were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it!" But then they figured out there was just another step to it that they had missed.
So like your sort of game is a higher skill floor. So the difference between people who can beat it and people who can beat it really well and quickly is not very big. So as long as the floor isn't too high, I think it'd be enjoyable. I kind of think of like a Phoenix Wright game as like a similar sort of puzzle where if you pay attention to the dialogue that's said in the game, you can figure almost everything out without guesswork and reloading saves. But if you are like you don't put the pieces together, sometimes it's a little bullshit. But I've played through recently, having not. Like, I kind of forgot it's been years since I played them, and I kind of forgot the solutions to puzzles. And I found that if I paid attention to what was being presented to me, I could figure out what the game, like, was hinting at, and I did figure out things, and it felt really, really good to, like, combine that observation with the correct answer and do it every time. It was great.
There's the difficulty. Phantom's Revenge. I wanted it to be not insanely difficult, but I want it to be somewhat difficult because like it's sort of like a narrative thing. Like the story of the game is that Phantom has gone somewhere to do something, and what he's doing is dangerous. And if he fucks up, he's gonna die. And I want like you to feel that way as the player. You're like, I need to be careful and not fuck up, or I will die, and it will upset me. So it's like
narrative coherence or whatever.
It's a Gesamtkunstwerk, is what I'm saying. It's all the I want. Yes, I want ludonarrative harmony. Is what I'm saying. I'm a genius.
Ludonarrative euphoria.
Yes. So that's why. It's not difficult just because I think games that are hard are cool, even though I do think that.
It is it is satisfying to successfully complete a puzzle that where you. I mean, I don't like things that are what's the word? Unfigure-outable. You couldn't see it coming, and you have to trial and error.
Yeah.
Trial and error. That's the worst thing I think in a video game is trial and error.
Oh, well.
That's the worst thing, Ben Sane. It's the worst thing.
Okay. Well, sorry. I'm sorry. You will definitely have to lose a few times.
Well, I mean,
in Phantom's Revenge, and figure out why you died to be like, what can I do differently? There's a bit of that necessary, I think.
That's
okay.
It's okay.
Different strokes for different folks, I guess.
It's a pet peeve of mine because it's not really that big a deal. It's like
although
Uncharted, a lot of where the enemies come from is like they just pop into frame and you don't know exactly where is the safest place to be at any given time, and if you're found out of position on the wrong wave, it's kind of impossible to get to a safe place and win. On the very hard difficulties, so it is a trial and error game. But the things they do are like the same every time, so you can figure it out. But I just don't like the trial part. I don't like making errors. It's cringe.
Okay. The alpha version was very much trial and error because you basically had to get to a room to find out what was in the room, and then by the time you got there, it would be too late to like figure out like, okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to respond to what's in the room? Like, what's my strategy here? You basically had to memorize the level layout and then like plan accordingly to be ready for the room when you got there. So to make it a little more forgiving, I changed it so that you no longer like now when you beat one room, you don't immediately go to the next one. You get to prepare yourself to move on to the next room. And I also added a scout command that tells you what's in. Phantom does a little like peering animation. He's going like, "Huh? What?" and it tells you like it tells you what's in the next room before you go there. So the game is more like Dark Souls now, and that in theory you could beat it on your first try because you can know what's ahead if you are scrupulous about it. So I did. You're right. Trial and error is okay in moderation, but there's such a thing as too much. So to cut down on it, I did make some accommodations.
I think an acceptable amount of trial and error is like baby steps at the beginning where you're like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, and you're expected to make mistakes, but the consequences for those are not like start the whole game over. It's just like you get hurt a bit, and you could still recover and win from there.
The line for me is that in the alpha, without those features, the trial and error was around like you would know a player would know what they wanted to do, but like they would know what they had to do, but they would get somewhere and then be like, well, it's already too late. I've already not set up to do the thing that I want to do, and like I have to just redo it. I wanted to make it so that like if you're being careful and like you have to play it and you have to do trial and error until you understand like, okay, this is how I need to respond to this situation. And once you learn that, then you can, as long as you know, like, okay, this situation is coming up, so I know in advance what I need to do to respond to it, and the game doesn't push you into it without time to prepare, and then fuck you. So you don't have to like have it fucking memorize. You don't need to have the whole game. I don't want you to need to have the whole game memorized. I just want you to understand how the game works and know how to respond to it when it does things. I don't want you to need to memorize what things it's going to do to you completely. Okay, I think that probably explains everything I need to say about that.
It's the sequelitis episode about Mega Man that Egoraptor did years ago.
Which part?
The part where they show you the things happening, so you can understand. When you get these enemies do this pattern, and in a safe environment, so you can observe that, and when they're in a more dangerous environment, you know what to do. That's the sort of building up
a bit.
Like if you're paying attention, you can anticipate what to do when a thing happens. And so, like, you would have an enemy that's like, oh, it's a gribbly grab, and you have to step on those guys, you have to stomp on them, and that's how you get them. And then there's a big gribbly grab, and it's like, oh shit, well, it looks the same. Maybe if I step on it with this big hammer thing, this big
you gotta use the giant foot power up to step on that guy.
So it's like you can deduce what to do, even though you've never seen it before.
Yeah, basically. I am when I envisioned Phantom's Revenge, I describe it as I had a vision. And then when I mean a vision, I literally in my mind I saw the picture. Like, this is what the game looks like. And then I made it look exactly like that, and I'm like, yes, this is my vision. I hope that it is also fun as a game, as a designed game, in addition to looking the way that I wanted it to look. I mean, it was conceptualized as an image first and a game second. But I think I made it work. I hope. Lamau. Based to have like a moment, because I think lots of artists have moments like that where like, oh, that would be perfect. Oh, I gotta make it. Oh, fuck that, and it's too hard. Yeah, don't do it. And you made it. Yeah. I sort of had to figure out like what the game was, like what the challenge of it was. There were a bunch of different kind of ideas I had for like what it could be and what the story could be and what the like enemy types could be, and I eventually settled on like a fairly simple version of it. That was like, okay, I was like, okay, this is enough. This is enough for me to execute on the idea. I mean, I think I decided to just simplify it and make it like, okay, like kind of the minimum amount of like different enemy types and whatever for like a quick narrative experience, like a condensed, a densely packed, relatively short game. I didn't want to like overcomplicate it or anything. There's only like a few enemy types. There's like 5 or 6 different enemy types, and some of them are like unique. You only encounter them once. So there's only 3 regular enemy types. But it's like the way you deal with like different configurations of them is the strategy part. I'm very excited. Game's basically done. Game's gonna be done like tomorrow. But it will be done. It will most assuredly be out when you're listening to this.
I will definitely stream myself playing it when I have access to the alpha.
Oh my god, that would be super epic. Spoilers though.
Oh,
spoilers for anyone. Yeah, that will. You know what I mean? All the cutscenes that I was planning on putting in the game are in it. All like the boss encounters are in it. All the sprite work is more or less final. So yeah, it's basic. The beta version is basically the full game. So complete spoilers. But that's okay.
I'll wait. I think until the alpha. When do you think the alpha will be out?
Ooh, it's hard to say. I would like to get it out in the next like month or so.
Okay, so it's a longer process.
But it will depend on how. It will depend on how many bugs people find and how bad they are. Like, I don't know exactly what it's going to take to fix it. I'm sure people will find bugs. I just don't know how catastrophic they'll be. So I don't know. But hopefully not very long. I would say you probably don't have to wait for the final version. Well, you could. I'm debating whether I think it would make more sense for you if you wanted to stream it to wait for the alpha or just stream the beta. It is the complete game, so you could do it. But do I want you to push the game before it's available for everyone? Do I want you to push it while it's still a Patreon exclusive? What's the financial move here? What would Ben the card churn? Let me put on my churning hat. What would churner Ben
like
say
milk churner hat
about? I don't know.
I would take the game and I would churn it.
Yes, I'm going to churn it. That's what I'm going to do on social media. I'm just going to be Phantom's Revenge posting for a while, until the full release and until that's all done. I'm gonna be pushing it as hard as I can. It's like I spent a year on it, and this is going to be my thing for a while. That I made a video game. I think it's fair. I think I've earned it.
Yes.
I'm not a comics guy anymore. Nah, fuck that. Fuck that. That shit doesn't even move. You seen these video games? They move. They're better. Yeah. All right. Enough about that.
I guess people would want me to talk about the podcast situation, because
sure.
we recorded the last episode before Nate had announced Talking Pirates.
Like the same day.
Yeah.
Like the same day he announced Talking Pirates. And we were all a bit like, what? Huh?
Yes.
What?
It was a bit it was a little weird. I felt a little bad.
It was weird.
Yeah. So basically Nate approached me earlier saying, We're clearly not interested in the podcast anymore. Shall we close the Patreon and all that? And I was like,
yeah,
it's true. We're not pushing to get the thing recorded. We're both tired of doing the podcast, I guess. We're not like gagging to do it as we once were. And so it made sense to close the Patreon and all that. And I didn't expect, it was his wording. I just didn't expect a One Piece review show to immediately come up with just Nate.
No.
And I was a little sad, and I went to DMs, and I explained to him I was a little sad, because it basically felt like I don't want to do a show with you specifically anymore.
You got disappeared like that guy in that Stalin picture? Yeah.
And I want to make it clear that I don't really have a problem with Nate doing a show about One Piece review. People have told me to do my own and then compete. I have no real interest in doing that anymore. So whatever. It was really just I was sad for personal friendship reasons, because we'd been growing apart, and that's just sort of indicative of us growing apart was Nate taking the podcast and just doing it by himself. And, no, hate towards him. I'm just a little somber about the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's not really around at all anymore. As far as I can see. So I get you. I think it's definitely part of a larger trend where he is gone. Yes.
So I guess that was all I really needed to say about it. Just in case people were curious about my thoughts. That's it. I don't mind if you watch it. Yeah, whatever.
It sounded like some of the people in my Discord were talking about it, and it sounded like. I mean, it seems like it's more. It's not. He calls it a show. He calls it Talking Pirates like it's a show, but it's just him on stream, on like his regular streams, just talking about One Piece, right? That's what it sounded like.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Well, I haven't seen it either, so I don't know. I'll never guest on the podcast like I said I would.
Yes.
Time has made a liar of me.
It'll if the podcast, I don't think the name, I think it's gone unsaid, but I think the idea is that the podcast was the show that me and Nate did. If I were to do my own pirate talking One Piece review show, I'd have to call it something else. It would be called
Pirates Talking. It would be the opposite of Talking Pirates.
Pirates speeching. Spoken word on all hands on deck for the new episode of One Piece manga review.
I am having a brain blast. Okay. A like government pirate is a corsair. So what if it was like Corsairs discoursing? Or like discoursair? Huh?
Discoursair's got an opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit erudite. I think not everybody knows what a corsair is, but maybe.
I do.
It's a it's a highbrow. Oh, I haven't. I learned that from school.
What's that?
Okay, well that's an idea. You can have that for free if you want it.
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't there a StarCraft unit called the Corsair?
I don't know.
I think there might have been a Protoss unit called the Corsair, and I think that might be where I actually learned the word.
Protoss?
Wait, I got.
Oh, I thought you said Star Trek.
No.
My God,
Racist.
Video games! I can't believe all things that have star in the name are the same.
Yes, it's that one. It's that one ship. I'm not even going to show it because it doesn't matter. But yes, there is a Protoss ship called the Corsair. So there you go. I was right. Yeah.
I could rebrand to be like a CP9 agent, a world government now. the government discusses those damn dirty pirates.
the government discusses.
It'll be like a boardroom meeting with all the admirals and vice admirals, and be like, "What are we going to do about this damn dirty monkey D. Luffy? What has he been up to this week? Let's read the latest chapter of One Piece to find out."
How about you call it like dispatches from Marine HQ or something?
Really, the possibilities are endless.
Something must be very compelling to me about like an in-universe review show, like a review that takes place inside the world of the work that it's reviewing, because that's what TBAP was, and now I'm envisioning like, what if you reviewed One Piece, but you did it? Yeah, but you did it as like you pretend you're a Marine general, being like, this worst generation is making such a ruckus for me on the fucking in my island in the Grand Line. It's making my job so hard. I don't know. That would be pretty funny, I guess. That sort of thing is my jam.
Initially, we were talking about the thing of the show and like what visually to put on there, and I just thought it was like, oh, what if we had like a little intro where the seagull drops the latest chapter as like the newspaper, and we're on the ship and we're reading it.
That's like the intro for the anime, right? Is like the little seagull drops the newspaper. Am I crazy?
I don't think, not the same, not every time. I think it's just a thing that happens on some episodes where like, oh, our bounties have increased and the seagull is always delivering the mail.
Yeah, okay.
But we would have that as like our, let's see what's but we didn't like in any way talk about it in character.
Yeah, it's a good idea. It's a good idea.
Simply
it's dropping the new chapter.
Yeah,
basically. Yeah, that's very cute. I like that sort of thing.
Well, that's that.
No, that's what happened. Man. Yeah, cool. That's it. That's all I got. Because I haven't done anything except work on my fucking game this month. I have no...
I've been mostly working on my secret project as well.
I paid my taxes with my new credit card, and I'm gonna get the sign up bonus. I'm a third of the way towards getting a sign up bonus. Haha, churning. American Express Blue Business Cash is the new one. Pretty epic.
I don't care.
Okay, nice. Yeah. I mean, okay.
Well, let's talk about Christmas, because it's almost
sure.
going to be that time.
Right, it's Thanksgiving. Wait, no, it's Christmas Eve. Okay, yeah.
I mean, you're supposed to be
Christmas
thankful
Eve,
at
whatever.
Christmas, thanks for the gift, everybody.
My brain, I thought it's the day before Thanksgiving, before Christmas. And my brain transformed that into the holiday before Christmas. And I was like, oh yeah, Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving. Yeah. So, I'm doing a little, over at Munchie and Kazzie's house, they're doing a little, gift swap Secret Santa thing with some people. And I bought a gift for that. That's what I have to do today. That's the reason why the game will probably not be out Sunday. It'll probably be out Monday instead. You can blame them. And then my parents are going to pick me up on Christmas Eve. I think we're going to do a family thing. I think they're bringing a COVID test. I'm going to take a COVID quick test before we go to that, which frankly makes me very happy because I noticed, I didn't realize this, but this past week or two, COVID numbers are going crazy in Massachusetts anyway. I mean, I think everywhere, but in Massachusetts, they're getting as bad as they ever were, which is bad. So I'm happy that everyone will be COVID testing before we do our stupid little family get together, which I'm not even looking forward to. And frankly, if the COVID test was positive and I didn't have to go, I would say, well, there's never been a better time to get the coronavirus. At least I don't have to do this shit. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I gotta take a COVID test today because we're going to see Grandma tomorrow. We're gonna drive all the way over to where she is. We're gonna bring the dog in the car as well.
Did I mention that 2 weeks ago or so I got my first COVID test?
You did.
I'd never had. Yeah, they stuck the thing up my nose and it was very ugh.
Yeah, we've got self-test things where you have to do that yourself with a funny little thing on a stick.
Oh, really?
And then you put it in a little... Yeah, I've done it a couple times. I think it feels better when it's in your own power. You can decide how hard or fast to do it, because I do it very slowly, and it's ooh.
So I'm gonna have to do it again for the. Okay, that's fine. It wasn't that bad.
No, I thought
it might be really bad, but it wasn't that bad.
It's just because it's a place in your body that you've never scratched before, because it's impossible to do that. Deep in your nose, you can't scratch that. You can't swab that normally. It's nerves that have never ever felt the touch of another thing, and being what the hell is this?
This is a funny story. And I guess I'll tell it because fuck it, who cares? I dated a girl who was into sneezing as a kink, and she taught me how to make myself sneeze, and it involves sticking something up your nose. So I kind of have experience sticking stuff up my nose. So I think I'm probably more equipped to do a COVID self-test than most, actually.
What about the sneezing? Was it the volume of it?
What do you mean?
What did she like about the sneezing?
I think it was the it was like the kind of like the build up and then like the release, like the like it was like the build up and release. It wasn't like a snot thing. It wasn't like about that. It was about the sneeze itself, and I think it was about the build up and release of the sneeze.
I can see the parallels there. That's really kind of funny.
Yeah. It is kind of funny. It's not the weirdest. It's definitely not. I've never known anyone else who was into that specifically. It's very unusual, but it's not the weirdest kink I've ever heard of. Like I sort of, like I don't get it. Like if I don't get it, if I got it, I would have it, and I don't. But like it's like I kind of see it. I understand the logic there.
I think of like a loud big sneeze as like a shotgun blast, which is not sexy, but it is cool.
There's the least scary way to do it is you take a roll of not toilet paper, a paper towel, and you twist it until it sort of becomes like a soft spike. And then you just kind of stick that up your nose, and it takes some practice, but there's like one or two spots. There are a couple of spots inside your nose where if you... Huh?
N spots? Like a G
spots?
spot, but an N spot.
Ew, gross. There are a couple of places where if you touch it, it'll make you sneeze if you like very quickly. If you're really a pro like me, I guess, you can use a bobby pin or something like rigid, and you can stick it up there, and like, you know, it doesn't have to really go that far up, but like it feels like it's going really far up. Don't try this at home. I'm not encouraging anyone to stick bobby pins up their nose or anything.
That sounds terrible.
I'm just saying I have done it, and I kind of know how to do it in a way that is like not particularly uncomfortable.
You're adept at like lock picking your nose.
I learned. Yeah, I learned. Lamau. I don't know, man. That's just a thing. That's just life, I guess. Crazy shit. I sure
hope the Omicron variant doesn't stop me from flying on January.
Oh, I hope so too. Is the new? I was looking at the charts. Is the new spike because of Omicron? It's probably just because of the holidays, right? It's people seeing each other for the holidays.
People going out shopping and seeing each other. Yeah.
We had the same spike last year at like the same time.
It's also colder, so like people be sneezing more.
Yeah, I'm ashamed to admit that I have not yet signed up for a booster.
I haven't either. I guess I should do that.
I should have done it like a few weeks ago. I haven't done it. I haven't done it yet.
I mean, the only reason I got the vaccines earlier was because like the NHS texted me and said, "All right, get your thing. Here's a link." And I'm like, "Okay, I don't want to do any I don't want to do any work for this. Just tell me where to go and I'll do it." But now I got to sign up for the booster, or else wait for them to tell me, which might take a while.
They have not like sent me any like encouragement. I haven't gotten any like message. No, I got an email that was like telling me boosters are available. I haven't gotten like texts or anything. I should have done it a few weeks ago, and now feel very silly because now it's too late for me to get one before Christmas and see the family and stuff, and that's why I was relieved to hear that I guess we're all doing like at home COVID tests before we do the get together. Like, you know, good for them. Glad my family is okay about that stuff. Most of my family are not complete shit, which is good.
Yeah. I think there's only been so far one family member, like relative, that has like expressed doubt over the existence of COVID. But
come on,
this was a while ago, but it was still like, come on, there's no like the argument was like, I just don't know anybody, and they were living in a part of the country that was very low emission, low transmission. There wasn't a lot of people getting it over there, so she just didn't physically know anyone who had got it. And then we were there, and we explained, oh no, we had a friend whose whole family got it, and she was like, what? Oh. Wasn't even really that bad. It was just sort of like, yeah, okay, you're an idiot though.
yeah, it doesn't sound like the worst. I don't know anyone in real life I know people online who have had it or got it. I guess my dad he tested positive for it, but then he had like no symptoms, so it may have been a false positive. We're not really sure, so I'm not sure if that counts. I don't know, man. Cool. Coronavirus, it's tricky. I heard some people saying that the Omicron variant, and I hope this is true. I kind of hope this is true, that the Omicron variant is more transmissible but less severe, which would be kind of good, right?
Yeah.
If a less severe variant became the dominant strain.
I mean,
like, I think that would be good.
That's
right?
the thing people were talking about ages ago, in like early 2020, where like virologists were like saying, a virus survives best when its host does not die, so it will tend to become something more akin to a common cold or a flu, which is something that people die from it still every year, but like it's not like the massive killer, the plague that we were dealing with earlier.
Yeah.
So it might be doing that right now, like getting into a stage where it just is the sort of thing you would catch if you go outside and sneeze, whoops, and you'll be a bit poorly for a bit, and then you'll be getting better. But I don't know yet how far along that is. It still seems like as deadly enough as like the Delta.
Well,
I haven't heard enough information.
I looked at the charts. The initial spike in cases carried with it like a big spike in deaths because hospitals were overcrowded. Since then, like, cases spike and deaths increase with the spikes, but not like to the extent like big spike in Massachusetts lately. One of the biggest spikes ever over the last few weeks in cases. Deaths are up, but only like a little up. They're up to like maybe like 25 a day, 30 a day from like whereas like back in the original it was like I think like was it thousands a day? There's no way. Hold on.
In Boston?
No, it can't have been thousands a day. COVID cases. I'm talking about Massachusetts specifically. Okay. Oh my god. I guess I'll just show it because it's So this oh god, no. This is cases in Massachusetts over like the full pandemic. So as you see, cases are up. Cases are looking good. We're getting there.
Do you have a death thing?
Yes, I do. Whereas deaths looks like this. There you go. So,
Yeah, very clearly the earlier strains of the virus were more deadly.
Okay, so at the very, very height, we were doing like 100+ a day in deaths. And now, when they're God, look around like July. Man, around July there were like no cases. We have to go back. We have to go back. Yeah, but then deaths are up, but they're up to like 20 a day, not like 100 a day. So, I mean, it could be better, but it could be a lot worse too. And I guess it's the case of like treatments are getting more effective. I guess it's a combination of treatments getting more effective, but also probably the most vulnerable have already died off. Right? So that was the first wave. Then hospitals are no longer as overcrowded. Hospitals are more prepared for it. Treatments are more effective. Maybe it's also the case that the virus is mutating and becoming less deadly in order to better propagate itself. Could be part of it.
Yeah, I think it's likely, but I'm just spitballing, just guessing.
Yeah, it makes sense in theory, but who really knows?
Yeah, the only thing I'm really worried about is the hysteria and whether a lockdown will happen before I can fly over. I mean, whatever. It's like maybe I get a COVID. Maybe it's a little bad, but
I hope you don't get a COVID.
I hope
you don't give me a COVID.
Yes, but like on the only assumption that I've got 2 doses of the vaccine already. I probably will be able to get a booster before I go.
Yeah.
Likely not going to be a big deal if I get it. I just want to be able to fly. I just want to pump some CO2 into that atmosphere. That's all I'm really doing. That's all I really want.
Yes. Don't we all? Yeah. I don't know. I think we're on the same page about all this. I love the coronavirus. I love lockdowns. I love communism. I love Democrats. I love Kamala Harris. Man, there was a clip on Twitter the other day that was so incredible. It was Charlemagne the God was interviewing Kamala Harris, and he asked her who's the president, Joe Biden or Joe Manchin? Do you know who Joe Manchin is?
He's a guy who's integral to something, I guess.
He is a Democrat. He and Kirsten Sinema are the 2 Democrats that are basically ruining everything and voting against all of like the progressive bills that we need every Democrat to vote for in order to pass. And these 2 people are like, Build Back Better bill, infrastructure bills, child tax credits. No, I don't like it. Because like, I don't know, the coal industry or something. So Joe Manchin is like, he's like the main guy. He's like the one Democrat who's just like, I'm just not going to vote for anything that the Democrats want. I'm just going to ruin everything because people are paying me to do that. So he's blocking all these bills, right? And Charlemagne the God asked Kamala Harris, like, who's the president here? Joe Biden or Joe Manchin? And first there's like a weird thing where like like an aide starts talking on the other end of the call. They start pretending like Kamala can't hear him. They're like, we're having difficulty hearing you. We're having difficulty, we're having technical difficulties. And then they finally get past that, and he asks the question again, and Kamala gets so mad. She gets like flustered, and like she starts pointing, and she starts being like, don't be talking like you're a Republican, asking who the real president is. Which is just very funny, and like just like pretended he asked a different question, just like faked outrage, and like, because Republicans are like, election was faked, right? Trump's still the real president. So it's like, and like obviously that's not what he's saying, but she like worked herself into a fucking fury and was like, questioning whether Joe Biden is the president is what a Republican would say. You can't ask, what the fuck? And I am in charge. He is in charge, and I am in charge. She got like it was so embarrassing. Like I couldn't believe it. I love her though. I stan a girl boss. First woman ever to wield presidential power while Joe Biden was anesthetized for a routine colonoscopy. Damn. Progress. The wheels of progress are turning.
The only thing I know about Kamala is that she's a cop, and she is a
DA prosecutor.
Cop things before.
Put lots of people in jail for nonviolent marijuana offenses.
And she laughs about it. Hee hee.
Yes, and she cackles about it. She makes jokes about it. Lovely woman.
We do a little incarceration.
We do. Yeah, for real. So that's politics, I guess. So it's looking good. The future is looking bright.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry.
How dare you, Ben Saint, have positivity?
That was a bold-faced lie that I, like the mainstream media, decided to propagate. I do love communism, though. I do love Joe Biden's I do love Kamala Harris's radical communist agenda. That much we can all agree on.
Mm-hmm.
I got some money. I got some money because I applied for something called an economic injury disaster loan. Last year, I applied for it because I file my taxes as because I'm an independent contractor, so I file as basically a one-man business that I am the only employee of. That's how I file my taxes. So, and there was a thing called the economic injury disaster loan, where if you are a business and you have less than 10 employees, which I have one, so I do, and you live in a low-income area, which technically, I looked at the map, and technically, yes, I did last year, and I still technically do this year since I moved. You could file for this thing called an economic injury disaster loan. And if you got approved for it, two things happened. One, you immediately got something called an economic injury disaster loan, or an EIDL targeted advance. And two, you were approved for the loan. And the targeted advance is just an extra loan that you don't have to pay back. So I applied for this loan, and I got approved for the loan, and they were like, you're approved for the loan. Here's some free money. You don't have to pay it back. Now, how much would you like to borrow on top of that? And I was like, none. Bye.
Free shit.
That was last year. And then this year, they sent me a reminder. They're like, hey, so you actually can, you only applied for, the first, part of it. There's more, you can apply for, the rest of it. And I was like, oh, well, I guess I will. They were like, just give us, all your tax information, all the money you made, give us a report month by month, because there's a criteria for it. This is funny. There's a criteria for qualifying for this. It was during a certain period, it could be any 3-month period in 2020 versus 2021, you had to have made a certain amount less this year than you did last year. Or no, it was 2019 versus 2020. And this is great. The way it worked out is because I reported my income exactly as it happened, right? I didn't have to do any creative accounting or anything. I just reported the facts exactly as they were. But because in 2019 I ran the Vapors 2 Kickstarter, which made, $12,000, that 1 month I made way more than I made the next year, that same period. So because, yes, there was a period during 2019 where I made significantly more money than I made during the same period in 2020, I then qualified for the second round of EIDL, and they were like, yeah, you're qualified. You live in a low-income area, and your income went down according to our metrics. Here's some more free money. Here's another targeted advance. Would you like to borrow money this time? No? Okay, well, go with God. So I guess I should say thanks to everyone who donated to that Kickstarter, because it made me money again from the government.
Crazy.
So pretty cool. I thought it was funny. that worked out. It worked out very well for me, and I'm very happy. I feel blessed. I feel privileged. I got really lucky. And I don't know. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool when shit like that happens.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my Lord of Ghosts Kickstarter was in 2020, so if there was a similar thing I could do, it would not work. I made a lot more money in 2020 than I did in 2019 because of that Kickstarter.
Because of things like that, I made more. I overall made.
What year am I? Am I stupid? Did Lord of Ghosts happen this year?
What do you mean?
2021? I think it did.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Lol.
Lol.
2020 and 2021 are the same year. There's no difference.
Yeah. They blend into each other. Wait, fuck. I was gonna say... Fuck, what was I saying?
Money,
yes. No, I had an actual point to make. Oh, no.
Kickstarter?
Kickstarter. Oh, okay. Oh, I overall made more money in 2021 than I did in 2020, despite that weird quirk where like 1 month I made a lot more money in 2020 or in 2019 because of the whatever. So I made more in 2021, and I made more in 2021 than I expect to make in 2022. So I mentioned the other day. I mentioned on the last episode that I had a secret project, and I'm still not going to say what my secret project is, but I teased it on Twitter the other day. I added Trixie, and I said, I am going to humiliate Trixie, and I'm going to make a bunch of money doing it, and there's nothing she can do to stop me. That is a tease. That's a tease for the secret project, which I will announce in the new year. And the reason I'm waiting to announce it in the new year is because I don't want to make that money this year, because I want to wait until 2022, because I think it will be taxed less on it. Because I don't think I'm going to make as much money in 2022 as I made in 2021. So that's why I'm waiting to announce it. Otherwise, I would announce it right away. But it's going to be funny. It's going to be funny.
Ben's got a rap career. Ben's gonna rap.
Oh, it's the diss track. The diss track theory. By the time this comes out, it will be 5 days away from New Year's, so it will be like, I don't know. I'll let people speculate. I don't care. It's fine.
God, the time between Christmas and New Year's is kind of magical. I don't know what it is. There's nothing like special going on. It's just sort of like the big like stress is getting things ready for Christmas, but getting things ready for New Year's is really just I don't know, buy some more alcohol, like get ready to drink some more, and you just sort of hang out for a few days. It feels good. I can't wait. I can't wait for after Christmas and before New Year's and then New Year's. I love New Year's. It's the best holiday of the year. I have to wait the longest amount of time before it can happen.
I guess it will be like 5 days where I like just don't have to do anything. I guess I hope that I will be using it to crank out some Slime and Punishment Phantom's Revenge work on the route to the alpha release.
There's too many projects. There's too many things.
I have worked so hard this month. I have been more productive this month than I have in forever, and it's because I was shooting for that December 19th launch date. And I think I want to just keep on a roll with it. Like I want to I don't want to take a break. I don't want to wait any longer. I just want to keep cranking it out. When the alpha after the beta release comes out, I just want to start drawing the rest of the comic, get it done like fast. Don't want to fucking drag this shit out any longer than I have to. I'm accustomed to having my nose to the grindstone now, so like might as well just stick with it, you know.
Yeah, I've also been working hard on the secret project, but I've tried to occasionally jump into like getting some more of the Lord of Ghosts Kickstarter stuff done as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's so close now. I mentioned on Twitter a little while ago that I was stressing out. I was freaking out over typography and fonts and how I need the right font, because all I'm doing right now is just making the thank you backers, Kickstarter backers page, and then I can set it to print. It's hard.
Can I ask, like, specifically what is it? Just the typography for the backers page?
It's yeah. I've done like there's like 3 pages. There's the intro page where it's like, hey, my name is Give and Take. This is my comic, and here's a little backstory. There's that. That's done. I think I've written that in a way that's like not stupid, and it feels sort of professional, but isn't like too professional. So I feel like it's just informational.
You know, I gave just a quick note. I made a similar thing. I added an option in the main menu of Phantom's Revenge that just says "What is this?" And when you click it, it just gives you a little like backstory lore readout of like this. What is this game's deal? What is this relevant to? Well, it's a comic, and the comic is about a game, and there's a character from a YouTube show, and blah 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 blah. Just give like someone who's never seen it before, if they picked it up, they could read that and be like, "Oh, okay, that's what this is."
I think you should hide that inside like an about thing that seems like just sort of generic information. Because if a player who doesn't know what it is like, I wonder what this is, and there's like, what is this? And they click that, and then they learn all this stuff all at once. They're like, oh god, maybe I shouldn't play this. You don't want them to ever think that. They should be able to easily ignore that menu option and think it's nothing special.
I feel like once they're looking at it, they're gonna click play.
Yeah,
I think so.
Hopefully,
yeah. Once they're there, I've got them. I've hooked them. I hope. Anyway,
was I saying something?
You were saying about the typography and which things you need it for.
Oh yeah. And then there was there's just a page saying this is the ghost stories section. I've done that. That looks pretty nice. It's just all of the people, all of their links. And then there's just the backers page. I think I fucked myself with this because in the Lord of Ghosts Kickstarter thing, the page, it says, with all the tiers, the font of your name in the back of the book will be larger than the previous tier, and I thought that was funny. Mm-hmm. But actually going to do it, I'm like, oh god, this is a nightmare of formatting. I have to decide whether to like how big they get. What is the smallest font that is like, and I don't want people to feel like being in the back of the book is like, oh, those are the little losers with a tiny name.
No, they should feel like that if they didn't pledge more.
I mean, yeah, but I also it's a balancing act. It's also like I'm not sure whether to separate them by tier and then do them alphabetically within the tier, or to just have all the names alphabetically and then sometimes a name is really big or like medium size or small depending on their pledge tier. And that would be really weird to read.
I think probably separating them by size is a lot simpler.
Yeah,
because then you can just have blocks.
But then it's like there's not an equal number. Like the blocks aren't even size. There'll be like 3 tier levels, and then the fourth one covers the entire rest of the page. And then I have to go to another page, and it's like, oh god, then I want the font to be good. I don't want to have to use different fonts for different groups of people. I hate it. I hate formatting this. It was the biggest mistake in the world. Because now this is the bottleneck, and it hurts. It hurts my brain to look at it.
I see. I don't know. Sucks, I guess.
I think I found an okay font. But
I have been known to spend a long time going over fonts, trying to find the perfect fonts. Because when you find that perfect font, it's like, ooh, that's the one. That's just what I wanted. That's the exact tone I was going for.
I don't know what tone I'm going for. It's just sort of like, I want it to be visible so that people can read their name and not be like, what the fuck is this? And I also don't want them to be too thick so that I could fit more of them on one page to minimize the amount of pages I need to print. Because it's well over 100 now. 100 pages. I gotta, like, keep it, I don't know. Keep it not bad. Keep it good. I just want it to be good.
100. You gotta keep it 100 pages.
But then so many things will be deleted. All of the ghost stories will fall out.
Is it more than 100 pages?
Yeah, with the ghost stories the beginning, and like the Lord of Ghosts itself is like 98 and 95 pages.
Oh shit. Sorry. Fuck, sorry. I barely slept last night. Oh shit, it's longer than I thought.
Yeah, it's big.
It's just so entertaining that it just flies by when you read it, so.
That's good.
Yeah. I'm proud of my ghost story. I really like.
Yeah, it's a really good one. They're all really good, but yours
I have
is
not
like
seen
refined Ben Saint style.
Yeah, it was a bit of an effort post. I have not seen. I've seen some of Kazi's, and I think that's it. I don't think I've seen anybody else's, but I'm looking forward to it. Wait, give me 1 sec. I need to grab a drink. Back with my pure aqua key lime flavored sparkling water beverage with other natural flavors.
Wow, so interesting.
Thanks. One of the from Aldi. One of the best tasting sparkling water beverages I've had, but probably one of the least pure. Contains fucking bullshit like potassium benzoate, acesulfame, potassium, and aspartame, which is a big cringe. You could at least sweeten it with sucralose, you fucking hacks. So I probably will not get these ones again, even though they're very tasty. The strawberry one is very good. It's okay. There are equally good alternatives.
Yeah, so hopefully I can do my secret project and get the Lord of Ghosts comics printed soon. It may roll over into January. I'm not too worried about that. There's kind of like everything's going to be stressful until February, because if I can go to America in January and see everyone, that means I won't be able to do. It's kind of like a deadline to get certain things done, like the Lord of Ghosts printed and maybe shipped. And depending on how long that takes, I might have to wait until I'm back from going to America before I can do all that, which would be like suboptimal. It would be not the best. It'd be kind of cool if I could bring like a bunch of the comics with me and the plushes, and then like give them to people who like who pledged, and I can just give them to them in person if they're there, or I can give you a bunch to send off to people for cheaper mailing costs.
Yes.
And that all depends on things being done before like the second week of January. So I don't have a lot of time to do all that, and that's it feels like I can't relax even after Christmas, even after New Year's. But I guess it's not the biggest.
It never ends.
Deal.
There's always some shit to be doing.
Yeah, it's not the biggest deal. Like if I come back at the end of January and I'm like, then I can do it, I'll just do it. It'll be fine. It would just be great to have like nothing hanging over my head, or much less hanging over my head while I'm over there. And for the new year to be new projects, like pick up old projects, finish those, or do new projects. No more Kickstarter. I hate it. It sucks. It's a terrible idea. Except it's fine. It's not even... I don't know. I might do one again for like the Bale-J book.
You know...
I don't know.
I felt the same way after I did like Vapors 1 and Vapors 2. They both took a really long time to actually get fulfilled. It was a lot of work. And for a long time I was still like, doing envelopes, going to the post office. I think I kind of just got used to it after a while and like stopped minding it. And then like when I was doing, people were buying Road to Radcon and shit. And I kind of was like, hey, I kind of like this. Like someone will just send me some money, and then I just fill out an envelope, take it to, get a little stack of them, take them to the post office, just do a little errand, and then I didn't really mind it so much. And I think, I don't know, maybe it's become a part of me. Maybe I did so many envelopes and trips to the post office that I've just I've learned to love my chains. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
the bird has come to love its cage.
It's a cool thing to be able to do, and like, I'll be glad when it's over, I'm sure. But like I don't think it's like something I hate. It's just a bit stressful.
The stressful part of it, you know what it is? You know what? It's actually not that. The difference is, when it was the Kickstarter, I was like, oh my god, it's been months since I did the Kickstarter. It's been so long. I've kept everyone waiting, and it's still not done. And it's still not done. But with like the Road to Radcon, it was just like, I have a thing. People can buy them whenever they want. And then when they do, you know, maybe like a week later or 2 weeks later, I put it in the mail. And it's not like an obligation, you know, after the initial round of people that did, you know, pay Kickstarter stuff and were entitled to. After that, like extra people buying them, it was not like a past obligation that I had to think about, like, oh, I promised this months and months and months ago. It was like an extra thing where there was like it was like that. I didn't feel like I felt like I was already done and I didn't hang it over my head. It was just like a new thing that was just sort of ongoing. So it felt different in that way. I don't know if there's any lesson to be learned from that. I'm still gonna do Kickstarters in the future. Like I'm gonna, when Slime and Punishment is done, next Kickstarter, maybe even soon, maybe even like early next year, depending on how fast I can get it sorted out. Kickstarter for Slime and Punishment book form. That's gonna be. I'm pretty excited for that, actually. That's gonna be sweet. That's gonna be fucking epic.
Yeah,
that's right. I said epic.
I feel like I need to finish more projects before I can kickstart other things. I still want to finish Clarissa. I still want to finish The Lord of Ghosts because it needs an Act 3.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you haven't even finished fulfilling for your last Kickstarter, so yeah, I wouldn't be thinking about a new one just yet.
Oh, no. But like...
Yeah.
For whatever project I pick up next, it will be to finish something I already have going rather than to kickstart like BEAT-NICONICO. Oh, that'll be much later.
Yeah, sure. It's been a while. It's been 2 years. It's been over 2 years for me since my last Kickstarter, so I think I'm ripe. I think I'm ripe for another one.
Has it been 2 years since Vapors 2?
Yeah, it was in like October of 2019.
The fuck?
I know. It's so fucked. I'm old now. I was young then and I'm old now. It's fucked up.
How do people do things? I don't get it.
A lot of people do things?
No, how do people do things?
Very carefully.
You're about like, oh, I'm 20 and I'm doing things and I just did another thing and here I go doing more. And you're like, oh, it's been like 3 years and I didn't notice? Great.
What kind of things?
I don't know. I guess it's just sort of like a work ethic thing, maybe. I lack the focus a little bit to work so hard that I can get an entire comic actually done, and yeah. You know, I feel like I can work really fast, but only in very short bursts, and then I completely lose track of time, and it's been a year. And then I can like work really hard, and in 3 months I can have like another comic.
I feel like I don't know. It's so hard. I always feel like, damn, I've done so little. Right? Every time I finish a project, I look back and like, wow, that took me like 6 months. Wow, that took me a year. Like, wow, I wasted all that time. I could have done it so much faster. And it's always true, but it's always like, yeah, well, but you know, at least I did something. At least it's not like I didn't do anything. It's really hard for me to gauge, like, am I doing a lot with my time? Am I doing not much with my time? Am I wasting my time? Am I using it well? And it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to... It's so hard to gauge that. Because, like, who am I... What's the... Am I comparing it against, like, the average other person?
I guess I would be comparing it against myself. Like the speed at which I did something, and then the lack of doing anything is noticeable. If I could work at that speed for an entire year, I would have so much more done. I generally try not to think about it too much, but
if I had
it does get to me.
If I had worked at the rate that I am working on it now, Phantom's Revenge would probably have been, I would say it would have taken about half the time, maybe even less. It's hard to say. Maybe definitely 6 months or less. I probably could have done it in half the time. But I was doing other stuff too. I was not solely focused on it for the whole year, so in hindsight, like, should I have focused on it and was the other stuff I was also doing worth the extra time? I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? It's impossible. It's an impossible question. Damn, I feel like I was gonna maybe say something else about that, but maybe not. Maybe I was just gonna repeat myself again.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much to say. It's just sort of like art, creativity, careers.
I'm very
like stuff.
I'm very excited for Slime and Punishment Kickstarter. Super excited for that. Cannot wait to be able to do that. I cannot wait
for having a completed Kickstarter that didn't fail.
Oh, sure. Yeah, true. Hey, remember Plebe and the Weeb?
Nope. Who's that?
Hey, whatever happened to those Blu-rays?
They were they didn't.
Hey,
Trixie,
whatever happened to all that money people paid for those Blu-rays?
Like the discs, and then didn't do anything with them, and I don't know where they are
crazy.
now.
That's crazy. That's
Wacky.
Funny. That's great. That's just, I get weird. I guess sometimes things like that just happen, and like nobody like is responsible for it. Sometimes just God just does things like that and makes it happen.
People are responsible. The people who pledged for it are responsible for not making it happen.
Right. If they really wanted those Blu-rays that they paid money for, they would have additionally secured a Blu-ray burner and made the ISO file for the Blu-ray, and done all the work to package it, and done all the work for fulfilling those orders. Just for instance, if the backers had really wanted it, they would have done that. But unfortunately, they didn't. So the person they gave money to is just their hands are tied. What are they supposed to do? What are they supposed to do? Just pull themselves up by their bootstraps and buy a Blu-ray burner? Gib, don't be ridiculous. Do you remember? Did you see that? Did you see that she actually said that? She literally said, this is a direct quote.
The bootstraps?
Yes,
part?
direct quote. What am I supposed to do? Just pick myself up by my bootstraps and buy a Blu-ray burner? With what money? The money they gave me to do that? Are you joking?
I didn't.
Unreal.
No, it was that. I mean, it's already
That's what she
bad,
said.
but to say it like that,
totally
God.
Insane. Totally deranged.
What do they expect me to do? Have money when they give me it?
Separated from reality. Excuses so deep in Cope that they just like circle around and become a black hole singularity, sucking everything else inside of them. Cope so deep that information cannot even escape from its gravitational pull. All information is destroyed when passing through. And the only thing that emanates out is blackbody radiation. Pure noise. No signal. All right. That's fun. That's as always, the Blu-ray, the Plebe and the Wee Blu-rays, very funny. Very funny. Duh. Anyway, what was I talking about before I got on that?
Kickstarter.
Oh, Slime and Punishment Kickstarter. Yeah, it's gonna be good. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to shop around for like book. I'm gonna have to find like a book binding service, like a book. You know, maybe I could even now be like sending off orders for like sample books. Just like, hey, guy, send me like a sample book just so I can see like what the binding will look like and stuff. I did a while ago do like page. Like I took all the panels and I organized them into pages, like for eventual print. You know, I made more pages after that, but I do have like a large section of the book arranged into pages to be eventually printed. So some of the work is done already. Because I knew I would do it eventually. And the time is nearing. The time is close at hand. Ooh yeah. Well, hey, we've been going for about, what, like 2 hours now?
An hour 45, yeah.
Oh, yeah, hour and a half. I kind of want to get going fairly soon, so what do you think about starting voicemails?
That's fine. Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's fucking get on with it. Let's get on with it, then.
How many pages do we have? What's the other area?
Yeah, they're kind of not a huge amount, but like a kind of medium-high amount. So let's try to bang them out. So I see the first one is from Janess. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Happy 6th-year anniversary, PCP. I've been enjoying listening to your show weekly since early 2018. Thank you guys so much for spending a few hours each week entertaining your audience. You guys are a symbol for me that I need to live up to.
Aw, shucks. Has it really been 6 years?
Since the show?
We're almost at episode 200 or 300.
It's wacky because like the
Actually,
pony,
yeah, I guess it's
the
pretty
MLP
close.
has been like it's over a decade since that began.
No.
Started in 2010.
No, you're kidding.
Yeah.
No fucking way.
And I think I got into it in 2012. So it's like 9 years since that.
Ancient fucking history.
So I guess 6 years.
And
makes
here
sense.
I am, still making my fucking brony game. Hell yeah. Some things never change. Well, thank you. Okay, next one is called Sports Manga. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, Ben, Gib, and possibly others. How you doing?
Great.
All
Lovely.
right.
Anyway, y'all should read the mangas 1 Ounce and Blue Lock.
1 Ounce and Blue Lock? Never heard of them.
My favorite sports manga is Ice Shield 21. You heard of that?
I have
it's an
read
American football one.
A lot of it, yeah. I said last episode, and I will reiterate, that I do think American gridiron football is the coolest professional team sport. I think it's cooler than Euro football. I think it's cool. It's way cooler than baseball. Fuck baseball. It's cooler than basketball. It's pretty neat. And it made for a good manga. Ice Shield 21 is a cool manga. I like it.
Yes. It's very good.
Yeah. Next one is next one is called 1 Ounce, and the one after it is called Blue Lock. So it's probably the same guy. Okay, 1 Ounce. 3, 2, 1, go.
Ben is a psychological baseball battle manga akin to Death Note with a tagline, "Nobody wins but I." It features matches with pulsating plays and stellar schemes, playing both of the game and the player's psyche, helmed by Toshiki Toa, our gambling-addicted ace pitcher.
Whoa.
Who, in the early chapters, strikes out every team he pitches, stacking millions of yen during his off-season debut games, and that's only after using the Japanese's propensity for hesitation to scam a rookie batter out of a couple $100, American, by the way, during a 1v1 pitcher versus batter game. It only gets better from there. Check it out.
Okay, I could see how that would be cool. That sounds pretty good, actually. All right, next one is Blue Lock. 3, 2, 1, go.
Blue Lock, Gib, is a psychological soccer survival game manga. It is about the Japanese Football Association funding an eccentric football scientist to create the ultimate player. So he makes a facility that is a culling game to weed down 150 applicants to a single striker for the Japanese under-19 team. I think just read the mini battle royale basically in the first 3 or 4 chapters, where the last person to touch a ball after 2 minutes gets kicked out and can never join the Japanese national team ever. The same penalty anyone who gets eliminated will face. The cast is great and the art is gorgeous. Boichi Murata gorgeous. Sunken Rock, Dr. Stone, Ice Shield 21, One Punch Man gorgeous. It's great. Check it out.
Same artist.
I think One Out sounds cooler.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to like think of a sports manga and be like, oh, that sounds fun, because I don't like sports. But usually they are pretty good. It's just a shonen thing, but with like points that are very that are normal instead of killing people.
I think Ice Shield 21 is probably the sports manga I've read the most. It might be the only one that I've read like a significant amount of. I should go back and finish it. I never finished it. Okay, next one is called One Lock. 3, 2, 1, go.
Also, both manga have anime. The One Out's anime only covers about 8 volumes of the 20 volumes of the manga, and it only came out in 2008. The Blue Lock anime, on the other hand, is only coming out in 2022. The manga is still running. One Out is completed, and the author
I don't care about the anime.
Called Liar's Game, which is also great. Blue Lock is at 154 chapters, so it'll at best cover 24 chapters if it's only 12 episodes. Sorry I sent these all at once, by the way. It was Sunday night when I started playing the latest podcast episode.
Okay.
Senso Sensei saying sayonara.
Nice. I think... Alright, well, One Out sounds kind of interesting, actually. Your description sold me on it.
I might hold those names in my memory for a week and then forget to look into them.
For a moment. For a transient moment. It disappears like tears in the rain.
Yes.
All right, next voicemail is an image. Let's look at it, shall we? Okay, so we've got BGE introducing Talking Pirates, my new One Piece discussion show. And then this is a Twitter reply. Twitter reply is a blue-haired SJW, I guess, a PCP fan, adding him, is your image clean enough now, or is there someone else that needs to be purged? Was it worth it? Did the cool kids start inventing you to play now that you got rid of the undesirables? Best guy ever says yes. Well, did they though? Did they?
Did they what? Did who what?
Did the cool kids start inviting him now to play, now that he's gotten rid of all the undesirables? I don't know if they did. Yeah. This is the typical PCP fan, though. This is true.
Yes.
I can't deny it. All right. Next one is RFCK Olive. 3, 2, 1, go.
Approximately 6 years ago, I started working on a D&D setting, and it got out of hand, and eventually became its own system. And I had started work on a free RPG Maker game based in it. It's going to be fucking huge. And I've been working on it for about 3 months. And just a few days ago, my husband's Microsoft Surface that this was being, made on, bricked. And so this is a reminder to everyone out there to back up your shit now. Do it right now, because I didn't, and now I have to start all the way over.
That sucks.
That's awful.
That sucks. On an unrelated note, though, I'm just gonna guess. I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess, Olive, that you've probably never made a game before. And I think it's probably a bad idea for you to jump into it with the idea that you're going to make a huge, epic, sprawling game. It's I think it sounds rough. Sounds rough. Many such cases, and they don't tend to work out very well. Think of it as a learning experience, I guess. I bet. Now, I could be totally off base with this, but if I'm right, I bet that if you went back and you tried to make that game again, that first 3 months you spent figuring it out, if you tried to go back and replicate everything, you could do it so much faster the second time. Because you would know so much more, and you would remember. I bet you could do it in half the time or less. And the skills you learned doing that would transfer to everything. I genuinely feel like I just barely figured out how to make like scenes, like cutscenes in like Game Maker. I feel like just this month I finally figured it out after working on the game for a year, and I was like, oh, I get it. Oh, okay, I kind of have figured out sort of like a system that kind of works and is like makes it flow. And there's so many things in Phantom's Revenge that like I'm looking at now and I'm like, why didn't I standardize this? Why did I just like didn't I make this like a fixed thing? Why didn't I base these things on like a set of global variables that I could have referenced here, there, and everywhere? Like why did I do all kinds of things? My shit is a mess, and there's all kinds of things in the game that like just look weird when I see them. Like they look weird to me, and I'm like, I know why that's weird, and it's because I did it in a stupid way because I have no idea what I was doing. I cobbled it together well enough, and my game is tiny. My game is 12 rooms long. So yeah, I don't know. Shit's hard. Shit's really, really hard. Okay, next one is called X7. 3, 2, 1. Actually, wait, Gib, did you have anything else? Do you have anything to say about that one?
About making a game for...
Yeah.
No, you were saying basically what I would be saying.
Oh, okay. Alright, sweet. Alright, X7. 3, 2, 1, go.
He's coming.
Why is he coming?
Yeah. He must...
What did he see?
He likes it, or is he just happy to see me? Hey, is that cum in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? Okay.
Like the implication being that the cum could be from some other means.
I was just carrying this around. No, this cum. No. This is business.
That was from a prior engagement.
Okay. Next one is a paste bin. It didn't. Hold on. It's a paste bin link. It says, "How would you react if Nate invited you to be guests on the Gamer Zone?"
It would be pretty weird.
I don't know. Part of me wants to say that I would take it as like an insult. Because because we already have a podcast, and like, why are you inviting me to be on your podcast when like we already had a podcast? And you know, the more I think about it, the more I think, yeah, that is how I should feel, because you know, like at RadCon, like Nate and Trixie were talking about like they were talking about the content. They were talking about like making content into its own thing, separate from the PCP, basically like subsuming the PCP and like, you know, basically turning us all into content employees. It was more Trixie. It was more Trixie that was talking about that. But Nate seemed to more or less be in agreement with it. So I would kind of be like, bro, we already have a podcast. Come on why not come back on our podcast and talk about it? Yeah, I think I would be a little insulted. I don't know. I would need like a really compelling reason to go onto the Gamer Zone and not feel like I've been co-opted. So, yeah. That's my answer. Next one is called Saber Spark is Saber Spark is too hard to listen to. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, Ben, could
Loud.
you do me a favor and, like, Saber Spark 64 just released an hour-long video, and I want to listen to it, but I don't want to listen to Saber Spark talk for an hour.
I can't listen to Saber Spark talk.
Dub over Saber Spark's lines.
Easily done, my friend. Easily done.
Re-release it on your channel or something. Because I want to know
steal the
what Tom's top 5 influential games are, but I don't want to hear him talk about it with Saber Spark.
I would do that, except then I would have to listen to Saber Spark in order to know what I have to say.
You turn on like auto-generated English captions, and then you get the transcript.
And I would have a mostly accurate script.
Mostly accurate, but slightly
garbled,
slightly garbled, strange version of it.
Slightly auto corrected. Yeah, okay. Could be fun. All right, next one is VVV on Instagram at ViniVidiVici4. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, Gab, would you mind checking your Instagram? I added you 1,000,000 years ago and I sent you a funny here and there.
Oh.
And then I forgot about it until I got into this Jack and Daxter group. And I made some cool art. I just thought you'd appreciate it. Think it was cool.
I'm looking. I have 2 accounts, so maybe it's on the one of them I don't check too much. Oh, applications. They sure do suck.
True. Alright, I'm just gonna do the next one. Next one is called Thread Derailed. 3 as in Podcasts. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yo, Nate killed the podcast to make his stupid Talking Pirates thing. Talk about top 10 anime betrayals. Am I right, guys?
A little bit.
Yeah, a
little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Next one is a Vocaroo link. And it seems to be from Doid Gazers, so that's exciting. Let's give that a listen. Oh god, it's 2 minutes long. 3, 2, 1, go.
Merry Christmas, fuckers! It's me, Doid Gazers, and today we are releasing our brand new hot single.
Let's get 'em.
Featuring me, the Golden Bitch, and Riley.
They don't let the yiggers in the door.
They don't let the yiggers in the door.
They don't let the yiggers in the door. They don't let the no good yiggers in the door.
YGG.
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 YGG. They don't let them yiggers in the door.
They don't let them no good yiggers in the door. Finish it a harakiri. Fuck is wrong with you? Oh, you like the PCP? The fuck is wrong with you? Oh, my yiggers got that BPD new content coming soon. But no can't do without Nate's consent. He's dead to me and you. I'm hanging out with Riley. Call us yiggers on the moon. So give us all your money. Radcon 2022. And Ben, you're a motherfucker. Call you Sonic Shoe. Yeah. And as for all your slander, it might be like Maddox and Sue. So over the PCP, all they do is tell those lies. And I'm so YGG, you can see it in my soulless eyes. I think you're just jealous because I'm hanging out with older guys. And you are just mad because you never go outside. Never. All these PCP fans are originally on my side. They only know you because of me. Your success is my device. That's why I compare our Patreons almost every single night. And keep rewatching all these videos from when we were tight. We were tight. They don't let the yiggers in the door.
They don't let the yiggers in the door.
They don't let the yiggers in the door.
They don't let the no good yiggers in the door.
YGG.
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 YGG. They don't let them yiggers in the door. They didn't let the no good years in the door. Merry Christmas, fuckers. Here's a verse from the Vizier. 21's a rap and all you did was get sissier. Your secret projects kept you busy, but I was keeping busier. I've been smoking so much weed that my head's feeling dizzier. My verses are my curses, man. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, all you do is run your mouth, so shut the fuck up. Shut it. You're obsessed with me and Trixie, and it's kinda fucked up. It is. Like, I get it, you're a hater, and you like making stuff up. It's all made up. YGG, WATP, the PCP. Yeah. Know why I think I might have smoked too much PCP? Maybe. Then your butthole must be feeling pretty sore. And it must hurt to see these yiggers open up the door.
Wow.
Well,
that
was a real song.
That was a real
from
song.
Trixie.
From Trixie, yeah, from Trixie and Riley.
It's too real.
I suppressed my reaction to all of that because I thought it deserved to just play uninterrupted. Okay, here's what I think. I think people should go and follow. I think people should go and follow Drixie the Golden Bitch at Doidgazer on Twitter. I like this stuff. I feel privileged. I feel blessed. To live in a world where this content exists. Go men. Go men for the track. I like that a lot. Yeah, give a check out Doidgazer on Twitter. Give him a follow. I think they more than deserve it. Yeah. Fucking yeah. All right. Next voicemail is Fried Vocalist. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right, next one is called, oh god, it's 1:30. It's called At Transphobes. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, Ben and Gib. So, spurred on by the latest episode of the PCP, I got inspired to articulate in a short form a basic argument against people who think that you can disrespect trans people's gender identity just because they are bad people.
I already know. So, we already explained it.
From the perspective of Immanuel Kant, he explains that every human being has what he calls a dignity. Their ability to make reasoned choices and direct their lives as they see fit is something inherently demanding of respect. And he then distinguishes this sense of respect from what people nowadays may conflate with respect, namely admiration. People must earn our admiration, but all human beings basically demand our respect. And that respect entails at least a respect of their autonomy, their self-direction. And as I see it, this is exactly why you cannot disregard any trans person's gender identity, because respecting that is not respect in the sense of admiration. It's respect in the more basic sense of not unnecessarily interfering with another's autonomy. And I would argue that if you disregard what someone reasonably assigns themselves in terms of gender, that constitutes a disrespect of their autonomy. And it constitutes sort of a basic inhumane disrespect of people. And I don't think that people generally ought to be able to justify that, even if that person is a bad person. Yeah.
Like, okay, a Kantian analysis. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, I mean, obviously I agree with the point. Sure. Yeah, okay. All right, thanks for the voicemail.
But have they considered that stupid people would not understand that, and therefore it's not true actually?
Yeah, they're just asking for too much. Like obviously I'm down with the struggle. Obviously I support rights, but have they considered that maybe they're asking for too many and the world's just not ready?
Yes.
This was oh god, what was was it like fuck, I'm gonna get the details wrong, but it was some fucking state, some shitty state like Mississippi or something, that like banned Sesame Street when it was new because it portrayed like, you know, like
Muppets.
black people. And it was like because there were like black people and white people on the show. And
oh my, okay.
Yeah, they like, I don't know if it was Mississippi, but it was some southern state. They briefly banned Sesame Street when it was new, and like, it's so pathetic. It's so pathetic. Like, the reason they banned it, they didn't say, it's like, we don't want to show like integration and like black people and stuff. They said that the reason they banned it was because like we're not ready for like society's not ready for that. Like, no, obviously I support. Obviously I'm not a racist, but like, you know, people just aren't ready to see things that aren't racist. People just aren't ready to see. So I don't support showing this non-racist stuff. Only racism, please, for now. You know, until people are ready for it.
Yeah. You just got to ease them into it by just not doing anything.
Exact. Gib, you're a genius. Gib, thank you. You know, I would go so far, you know, with rhetoric like that, I would go so far as to say that you're one of the good ones. Thanks for being not one of these cringe ones that wants like positive change or rights or anything. Thank you. You're making me thanks for looking out for my comfort. Okay. Enough. Next one is Prince Annihilation, The Miracle Before Christmas. Another minute 30. Let's see if it justifies itself. 3, 2, 1, go.
Based on a true story. It all happened about a week ago. Finally, there it was on my doorstep. Road to RadCon. Sent straight from the car trunk of internet pseudo-celebrity Ben Saint. I opened it up and saw the beautiful cover art, smelled the not-so-freshly printed paper. Still good. The next day I went out to my internship and dreamed of reading the great literary work on my free time. But upon returning home, I was hit with intense fatigue, body aches, and headaches, and I collapsed on the bed for several hours unable to get up.
Cold
the entire
coronavirus.
night I struggled to move, walk, or even eat, and mostly just slept. Could it be, I thought? Could my internet hero Ben Saint have sent me USA-grade COVID from inside the pages of his magnum opus? At first thoughts shocked me, but then I realized that this reality would afford me new opportunities. I could e-bag Ben Saint for a free I Have COVID t-shirt.
False.
Or I could just buy them myself and rep that PCP merch for epic meme points.
There you go.
The next day
now
I
we're talking.
tested myself. Negative.
Oh.
I was relieved but also kind of sad. In the next 2 days I recovered, but then catching up on work made me so busy that I haven't actually read Road to RadCon to this day. So if you take anything from this story, I would hope it is this. Remember love. Also, it's totally Tricky's fault I got...
Agree.
True,
If you had read Road to RadCon, you would know that Road to RadCon contains the true account of the origin of the coronavirus. Actually.
Yes.
As you remember, we did RadCon at the beginning of the pandemic. Well, guess what? We were there at ground zero. Chinese wet markets, eating bat meat.
All lies.
All an op, a misdirect, a red herring. We have the real story, and it is contained within the pages of Road to RadCon. DM me on Twitter. Please buy more copies. Please, I beg you.
After all, we're the reason people are dying.
We are. We always were, but now more than ever, we are the reason people are dying. Sorry. Sorry about the pandemic, everybody.
I hope our Patreon doesn't suffer for this.
I sure hope our Patreon doesn't suffer because we did COVID. But I guess we'll see. Next one is called Thank You Technology. Wait, I just want to say I'm actually pretty proud and amused. Because it's all in the last chapter. It was all me. I guess we workshopped it, so It's not all me. You and me kind of came up with the idea together.
We came up with the ideas, and then you did the actual prose.
Yeah, but that part of it is really funny, and I think it's very serendipitous, and it just worked out in a way that like makes sense and is satisfying, and also is really funny.
Yeah,
and I just love that part. That's one of my favorite things about it. There's other good shit. There's actually a lot. There's actually quite a bit of lore especially in the final chapter, because I did it on purpose. There's quite a bit of like funny lore in the final chapter of Road to RadCon. We did that stream where we workshopped like what should go in there, and it all went in, baby. It's a good read. Buy a copy. Okay. Next one is called Thank You Technology. 3, 2, 1, go.
So I graduated high school this year.
Congratulations.
And like to make it more clear, this was like back again in like June, and they made us log into this app to receive our diploma. So okay, it was weird. It's really weird. And then some time passed, and then this thing about NFTs started showing up, and NFTs, all the drama, all the stuff.
Sure.
And then something came back into my mind. Something scary. And I went back to check my high school diploma, and I remembered this specific thing they told us.
Is it on the blockchain?
Something about our diplomas using the blockchain.
No! What the fuck?
Oh my god. And then I went into my phone. And then I went to the app. And then I saw my diploma. And then I clicked validate. And there it was. This credential is a valid Ethereum credential. My fucking high school diploma is an NFT. And now I have to depend on it. I have to depend on NFTs to keep my high school diploma safe.
How could they just do that?
I mean...
Okay, wait a minute. Surely when it comes to, like, what diplomas do you have, you'd be able to say I have, even if you, like, don't have the password to the NFT. Surely you could just say...
Okay, diplomas have existed and functioned, without the blockchain. Like, what does putting it on the blockchain... What's the fucking point? What's the fucking point?
It's a stupid idiot in charge of it convinced the teachers to be like, oh, what if we did this? This is the future. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they just did it.
I would hope that you could just fucking print, like, okay, I guess thanks for the JPEG. I would hope that you can just print the JPEG and that would function as a diploma. I would hope that... I guess I would hope, and I would expect and hope that you don't actually need to, like, interact with the fucking Ethereum blockchain just to, like, confirm your graduated status with, like, a potential college or something.
I think that if that happens...
Stupid.
Like, if it's, like, you need the NFT code to prove to, like, other schools and stuff you have the credentials you have, then society is ruined. I feel like there must be there would have to be a way around, like, oh, if you lose the password or whatever, you could still just, if you have a picture of it and it's got your name on it, then that's enough. So I'm sure it's not going to be exclusively that.
Yeah.
But it sucks that it's happening at all. That's terrible. It's so stupid.
I've been seeing some idiots in charge, I guess. I've been seeing Dan Olson's tweets about NFTs lately, and he's been doing a lot of research into them, and he's very good. I like what he has to say about them. And he the other day he posted one that's like, I had not even considered this, but like, there's a thing where you can take a thing, or whatever, and you can mint it on the blockchain, you know, whatever that means. And that's like fine. That's cool. But like, consider that there are many blockchains and there are many networks, and you can, and people do, just take a JPEG that someone minted on the blockchain, take the same JPEG and just go to another blockchain or every other blockchain and just mint it on those ones too. You can just steal from one blockchain, put it on another blockchain, same shit, different blockchain. You can just do that. And it's like, oh, well now it's official on my blockchain too, I guess. It's like, oh, okay. Which blockchain is the real one though? Which one do I shoot?
Do they have like a date for when it was minted? I guess that would be the only thing.
Yeah.
If you like have the earliest dated thing.
I guess you could just like look at the date. But then it's like, okay, but then what, right? Then what? You look at the date and you're like, okay, I see that it's minted on this blockchain on this date. So, okay, that other blockchain, like, yeah, even though it says it was minted there and the blockchain is, you know, in an inarguable registry of truth, you know, everything on the blockchain is permanent and immutable and it's true. But just ignore that it says it over there. Pretend it doesn't say that. That one doesn't count. That part of that block on the chain it's just not real. All the other ones are real though. The original blockchain is totally real. That one's immutable. Unless there's another, even older blockchain, in which case that one's the real one. But who knows?
Blockchains, just like...
So smart. It's so fucking smart.
Babies playing with blocks and they're chained together. It's about the same.
The babies have grown to love their chains.
The greater babies.
The blockchains, that is. Next voicemail is called Ben is not allowed to listen to this one. From take off your headphones at no seriously.fuck. So
what are you gonna do, Ben?
I guess I'll abide by its rules. Let's start the voicemail.
I'll listen to it.
In
3,
2, 1,
I can
go.
I'll count it in.
Hey, Ben, just don't listen to this one. Don't worry about it. It doesn't concern you. It doesn't matter. It's alright. It doesn't matter. Just take your headphones off, take the batteries out, uncharge them, unplug it, make sure he can't hear me. Now he's gone. You guys want to hear a big secret? You can't tell him, though. I promise you won't tell him.
Yeah.
So you know how he gives you $2 for every dollar that you won Patreon from Trixie? Well, here's what you do. Give Trixie $1, and on Patreon, Ben gives you $2. You give Trixie $2 on Patreon, Ben gives you $4. It's infinite money. It's exponential growth. You can't tell him, though. Promise you won't tell him, because if you tell him, he'll patch it. It's going to be our little secret.
I won't.
Okay? If he asks what we were talking about, just say we're talking about how gay he is. Ben, you can come back in now. I promise we were only talking about how gay you are.
I lied. I fucking lied. I
Oh,
lied.
no.
I listened to the voicemail. I'm patching it.
Apache.
No, I look. When not that anyone has, sadly, no one has taken me up on the offer for a while, but when they did, I look at the record and I see, like, did someone just pledge? I would probably be able to tell if someone were trying to scam me like that.
Scam me out of a whole $1.
Because I can see the number. I can see number go up. Or I can see Patreon number go up. Like the record is there on Graphtreon. I can just refer to it and like if the number were to go up by $5 and you were like, I'm a $5 patron, I would be like, well, I think you're scamming me, buddy. So you gotta get up pretty early in the morning to pull one over on this guy. Next one is not a voicemail, it's just a question. Did you see the Tara Strong NFT film project? I saw that Tara Strong was doing NFT stuff. I didn't really look into it any further than that. I also saw that she's like an anti-vaxxer, which is very funny.
Twilight wouldn't be an anti-vaxxer.
I don't think so. I think Twilight would be a Democrat. I think Twilight would love Kamala Harris. And which shit? I forget which is the right way to say it. I think it's Kamala. Twilight Sparkle would stan Kamala Harris and Ruth Bader Ginsburg. That's it. That's all I have to say. Obviously, she'd be vaccinated. But she would love NFTs. She loves the blockchain. Like, she's like, oh my god, it opens up. Oh my god, we can open up so many opportunities. Oh my god, smart contracts. Bro, it's revolutionary. I don't even want to know what a smart contract. Tom seemed to think that a smart contract was like one of the good things that a blockchain can do. I didn't understand his explanation of it. I don't believe it. I still don't believe that it's real.
Is a smart contract like a contract that you can't edit afterwards?
Is
it like a tweet?
Know. I don't know. I mean, whatever it is, it would still have to be like drafted by humans. Like the terms of it would still have to be agreed upon by a human. Maybe it makes it maybe like the confirmation of like receipt is on the blockchain, I guess. Maybe it happens automatically, but like it would still have to happen in response. Like maybe fulfillment happens automatically, but it would still have to happen in response to a human telling it, like, you know, contract fulfilled, right? There has to be some like I don't know. It's still whatever it is. I'm sure it's still gameable. I have yet to see any problem that the blockchain solves. Okay. So next one is worst holiday gift you ever got or weirdest gift you ever got. Man, I don't know.
I don't know.
No bad gifts spring to mind.
Or weird gifts, I guess. Gifts are nice usually.
I'm sorry, disappointing answer. I can't think of any like, oh, this one time I got a really fucked up gift. Like I don't think I have any like that. Sorry, I wish I did.
This one time Santa took a dump down the chimney. He didn't even leave any presents.
One time I did give a fucked up gift. In that one time to like prank my family when I was like a kid. I replaced everything in the stockings with coal. Like I bought a bunch of coal from Building 19, and then I put coal in everyone's stocking like before everyone woke up as a prank, and I thought it was really funny, but like it didn't go over well. Nobody laughed or liked it or was like, "Wow, what the heck." Like, you know, we were little kids, and Nate was even littler than me. And Nate, I remember Nate just seemed like confused and like upset, and I was like, ah, jeez. Ah, fuck. I thought it was funny. Oh, well.
It's the punchline without a setup. They're just like, what is this?
Yeah.
Huh?
I don't know. Whatever. Oops.
Oops.
Not in the mood, I guess. Next one is Nate's real nobody name. 3, 2, 1, go.
You Scrimblow McBrimblows. Nate's nobody name would obviously be Zante. That's Xante.
That's pretty good.
Zante.
Zante.
Chocolate
That's a good
rain.
name. Some stay dry, but others nobody. I don't know.
Chocolate Rain wrote a song about Black history. Chocolate Rain, now I'm paid a hefty fee. That it's not really about that was the it was like for some commercial he sang that version of the song. It's not really about Black history. I mean, it sort of is, but it's about Black it's about like it's as much about the present as it is about history. But they made him say Black history. Like, no, it's about a thing that used to happen. Don't say it's about like systemic racism in the modern era. You can't say that. That should have been the line. That would have rhymed really well if he had said wrote a song about systemic racism in the modern era. That would have been really good. Next voicemail is called Sorry Uwu. 3, 2, 1, go.
Ben, I hope you've missed me. I'm sorry I haven't left a voicemail in a couple weeks. I've been too busy having sex.
It's been really sad without you, man, but I get it. You gotta fuck.
You gotta fuck when you gotta
Sometimes
fuck.
you gotta fuck, and that's... Who am I to stand in the way of progress? Next one is hashtag Drew Dump December. I think it's probably supposed to be hashtag Dry Dump December. If you remember, reference to our 2 weeks ago, our discussion with Tisnakerer about our cool new thing. Next one is Drew Dump December. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey PCP, you deserve another W, because I am now 3 weeks into Dry Dump December, and I feel fucking
It's not even 3
ascended. This is the state of mind humans were always supposed to be in. All the moisture that was supposed to go into my shit is now hydrating my entire body, making me basically an Ubermensch in this fucking society
so
of
important.
low people who, like, don't fap? What the fuck's that all about? No fap November? Dry dump December all the way. I'm so fucking hydrated, I'm running marathons, and I don't even feel it. Even if I sweat profusely, I still got that moisture. That's how hydrated I am from not even taking a fucking dump. So, well, I mean, I guess my ass does hurt quite a bit, and I do feel like I'm going to burst any second now, and
That's okay.
the shit might spray out my mouth.
You just gotta work through that.
But this is literally the best I've felt my entire life. So, I highly recommend Dry Dump December.
Okay, I don't think... Did I leave before you started talking about this on that episode?
Did you? Maybe.
Because I don't
Maybe
recall.
You did. Dry Dump December is... Yeah, because I was talking about how when you hold in a shit, like the longer a shit has been in your body before you excrete it, the drier it is, because moisture from it absorbs from your your bowel, your intestine. So it's like, well, you don't want to lose that moisture. So after No Fap November, a better thing is Dry Dump December, where you don't shit. So you get all the shit, you hold it in and you get all the moisture. You keep all your moisture. And the thing is that nobody understands is that dump moisture is actually the best moisture there is. You're losing precious moisture if you release the dump too early. So hold it in all month. Don't let it go. Don't release.
What if you hold it in for so long that it becomes like a fine mist, like a dust?
Well, that's how you know you did it. What do you think the whole point of Dry Dump December is? That's on January 1st. On January 1st, you go out and you release the sand, basically. You just let it tumble out like sand from an hourglass. And that's how you know you did it right. Think of all the moisture you saved. Gallons.
You just drink
gallons, Gib, gallons.
Oh, this is too much. It's too much for me.
No, it's enough. I'd say it's finally enough. Next voicemail is called New PCP Theme Song. 3, 2, 1, go.
Anyway, here is the new theme song I thought of for the PCP. It goes a little something like this.
I would have fucking shit so bad.
Thank you.
Put it at the beginning of the episode. Put it at the beginning of the episode, Eleazar. Please.
It's the new theme song.
New theme song. I want to shit so bad. All through December, baby. All through Dry Dump December. Next voicemail is called Fuck Trixie. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, Ben. So I watched Nate's new video, and I realized why I don't like Nate's recent content. He's never on screen anymore, it feels like. I like the videos of Nate just like excitedly bouncing around the room. He's good at that. Did Nate get fat in COVID? Is that what happened? He got fat, didn't he? Oh, I want to rub that fat little fucking belly.
Last time I saw him, he was not fat. So, I don't know. Take with that what you will.
I agree, though.
Next one.
Nate's on-screen appearances are fun.
Well, he never really. Well, he would be on screen for.
They're more fun than like just the voiceover.
Okay. Well, was his last video the Deltarune one?
No, his last video was the Cowboy Bebop.
Oh yeah. Right. Okay. I mean that's makes sense. Understandable. Okay. Next one is called Got 'em. 3, 2, 1, go.
PP poo poo.
You did. You got him.
Cool.
Who are M, by the way? Can't be us. There's no way you got us.
No. So whoever they were, though, I pity the fool. I pity the fool, you might say. Okay. Next one is a Vocaroo link. 3, 2, 1, go.
The PCP makes me go. I'm gonna go right now.
Wow.
Damn, that's also a good contender for a theme song.
That's actually It's actually way better.
Put back to back. Eleazar, back to back. One after the other.
Yeah, they both deserve it.
Yeah.
Obviously. Okay. Next one is another paste bin question. So let's see about that, I guess.
What's the appeal of Twitter? You talk about it all the time, but I can't get into it at all. Well, you're lucky.
I mean, what's not to understand? It's just a place where people write stuff, and you read what they write, and you write stuff in your spot.
And you get notifications when new people you follow write or post stuff. I mean, I don't even know how to
explain. I don't even know how to explain the appeal of Twitter.
There's lots of cool artists who post art that I follow.
My radiator is fucking exploding behind me, by the way, if you can hear that.
I cannot. I hope it does not explode.
Okay, it's going clang, clang. I think it's dying down a little bit. All right, anyway.
And I guess the appeal of posting is that sometimes you post a banger tweet and people love it. And you feel something for once. That's really the extent of it.
Yeah, there are people on there that say funny things that make me laugh, and there are people on there that say good opinions that I agree with. And there's people on there who say bad opinions that I don't agree with, and I yell at them. And that's it, man. Like, what more is there to say? That's what it do. Next voicemail is a nicovideo.jp.
So many links.
Link?
Nico Video.
Nico-Niconi.
Is this the Japanese YouTube or something?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, let's try
5 minutes long.
Alright, I'm starting it. Okay.
So YouTube poop.
Alright. I think I get it. Skipping ahead a little bit, and yep, it's more of the same. Okay.
That's fun.
That's pretty fun.
I agree with that.
Absolutely. I endorse it, yeah. Next one is called Dakotes. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey PCP, is it cringe that I like the Dick Show but also like the Procrastinators? I don't like Trixie, so that's a plus, right?
I don't like Dick Masterson. I don't listen to the show, so I don't really have anything to say about whether it's like a good show or not.
I used to listen to it, and I guess Dick has like a certain charisma. It's fun to hear him yell about.
Sure,
like rant.
I've heard clips of him yelling.
Way.
I've heard clips of him yelling that are like pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's
A
fine.
lot of what he believes is a cringe.
I hate him.
A
on
lot of the
Twitter.
guests he has on.
I hate him. I
terrible.
hate him on Twitter. You ever see his Twitter? He sucks so bad on Twitter.
Yeah.
Hate that. I hate that when someone's funny and then they suck shit and they're a terrible person and you find out through Twitter. That's how it was with Cecil McFly. Fuck Cecil McFly. Yeah. So, but maybe I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I have no opinion about the show. Hey man, just do what you gotta do. Just do what you gotta do. Just like the song in Leprechaun in the Hood. Do what you gotta do.
Is that how it goes? Just like that?
That's shit. Yeah, memory bubbling. Yeah, I think that's their song. I don't know if it plays at the beginning or it's just do what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do. Like that's the chorus.
Be a leprechaun in the hood.
I think it plays at the beginning because I think it's sort of about because then they do what they gotta do because they rob. I think it's Ice-T. I think it's Ice-T who plays the rich guy that they rob, and then they get the leprechaun's gold from. Yeah. Great movie, Leprechaun in the Hood. Do what you gotta do. It's true. You gotta do what you gotta do. You know, they were robbing the rich to give to the poor, and the poor was themselves. But that's fine. That's everybody. You gotta start somewhere, right? Next voicemail is Applejack. 3, 2, 1, go.
Howdy, Phantom Horn. Just calling in to wish every pony a happy Heartswarming Eve. I hope y'all are doing well. I'm doing okay. But this time of year, I always get a little depressed. It's a hard time of year for a lot of ponies. So I just wanted to tell your listeners that it's always okay to get help. I go to my therapist every couple of weeks just to talk about things going on in my life. I always feel better when I do.
She's really opening up.
Therapist. He's gotten me through a lot of problems. So I asked him here today to say a few words to your listeners.
Is it? No.
Hello, Procrastinators.
No!
Dr. Wolf. Gibbon, I hope you are doing well. And Phantom, I've heard you have made a game. It's very exciting. Anyway, Applejack has asked me to say a few words to your listeners. This is a difficult time of year for a lot of people. Perhaps you have some friends that you've lost, or perhaps you have some friends that have lost you and need to be reminded that you were there. The holiday season is a great time to make amends. Grab a drink and resolve your differences, as long as you don't go overboard.
Thanks for speaking, Doctor. I'll make sure to bootleg you a copy of Phantom's Revenge.
It's good to be helping.
It's no way.
How?
They got a Dr. Wolf voice modulator?
Yeah, how can such a thing exist?
I mean, I guess all you need is input and a computer AI to understand what is he's got a bunch of videos. You put them in. I don't know how a person does that. I don't know when you need to buy software.
I didn't know that was a thing you could do. Just
I mean, people have done it
into
the ponies.
An algorithm. Huh.
They've done it with Donald Trump and Obama. They've done it with, but Dr. Wolf is not. Who would have done that?
I guess someone just was like, I guess I'll just fucking make an algorithmically generated voice modulator program for Dr. Wolf.
Applejack, you gotta see other doctors. You gotta get a better therapist.
Funny
That's a really
story,
funny image that Applejack is calling in saying I'm depressed and I speak to my therapist.
I didn't see it coming until the very last second when she's like, I'm gonna put him on the line. I was like, who's it gonna be? Oh my god, it's Dr. Wolf. When she was just talking about see your therapist, it didn't put it together for me at all. Lol. Okay. I gotta say, this is a little bit of a spoiler, but I guess I'll just say because it's funny. Dr. Wolf is in Phantom's Revenge.
Oh no.
He's in there. So
no.
Watch out, Doc. Your days are fucking numbered.
Oh, now with this technology, you could have the voice acted lines.
Oh,
but just for Dr. Wolf.
Just Dr. Wolf. Just him. Very good. Thanks, Applejack. Thanks for opening up. Doesn't just because you need a little help from time to time. I'm glad you learned the lesson from that one episode. What's that one episode where she won't ask for help? Is it apple bucking season?
Motherfucking season.
Motherfucking season. I think it's apple buck season. The one where she's got to harvest all the apples herself.
Yeah, that would be the one where she's like,
I'm glad.
I just got to do all these things, and I just got to do all of them. Applejack, it's okay to ask for help. Oh
no! Shut up! Get the fuck out of here, you filthy! You don't know our Earth Pony ways. Go back to where you came from. We harvest our own apples. What? Asking others to harvest your apples for you is communism, Twilight. What do they teach you? What do they teach you at that damn unicorn school in Canterlot? That's what it's like.
Die, Applejack, and then she kills her.
That's how my version would go. teaching the eggheads in Canterlot reading Marxist theory, critical race theory. Fuck you, fuck unicorns. Okay. Next voicemail is called Ben Saint the Third. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey Ben, I had a funny dream last night. You want to hear it? Okay.
Absolutely.
So I had a dream where you, Gib, Trixie, and Nate were all together for having a party or something. And I was there interviewing
Would never
them.
happen.
And Trixie's like, yeah, me and Nate and Gib were all partying last night. And it was the bomb. And Ben was invited. Fuck him. And I'm like, how you feel about Nate and Gib? And she's like, I think I'm going to make them a member of Geek Studio. I'm like, that's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
You're like, fuck. And then the party ended, and you were just like, well, fuck this. I'm going to go hang out with Lupin the Third. So you got a giant truck, and for whatever reason, the police were chasing you, and we're on the ocean, by the way.
Because I was hanging out with
On a
Lupin.
big boat, shooting missiles.
He's a wanted criminal.
Shooting bullets and everything. And I was like, yo, Ben, pick me up, and you just drove by me. And then it ended. Yeah.
Left you in a war zone. That's great. That's great. I can't. What do you mean I can't join Yig Studios? Oh, jeez. Well, fine. I'm gonna hang out with my friend Lupin.
That was your plan B. Your plan A was always to be in Yig Studios.
Plan A was Yig Studios. Plan B is to join Lupin's band of thieves. Sure. I enjoyed that a lot. All right, next one. Is this the last one? Let me refresh the page. Yeah, last one is called I Love Trixie. 3, 2, 1, go. Whoa. Oh my god. Lol.
That's farts.
That's good. That's good.
That's good.
Well, that's a appropriate note to end on, I think. Speakpipe.com/PCB voicemail if you want to leave a masterpiece like one of these in our inbox. We'll fucking have to put up with it on the show. Patreon.com/The Procrastinators for all the bonus episodes, all that old, not that old, but all that, a few weeks old at this point, Trixie drama, access to the Minecraft server whenever we get around to doing another stream, probably after the holidays, and
have a Merry Christmas and a
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
Holiday.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas Eve. Hope you have a fucking good time. If you don't celebrate Christmas, fuck you. This is America. Wherever you live, this is America. We worship God in this house.
It's like Donald Glover, Childish Gambino's song, This is America, but with like sleigh bells in the background.
Yeah. And this is America, you bitch. Get under the fucking tree. Get in my fucking stocking. Get up my fucking chimney. If you're a patron of mine at patreon.com/bensaint, check out the Phantom's Revenge beta release. Out now for patrons. Playtest that shit. Let me know if it's too hard or whatever, or if it bugs out, keep an eye on that. That's my big announcement this week. Okay.
And my big announcement this week is go to my Twitter and see if I've already announced things, because I don't know whether it'll be out. I don't know whether it'll be announced yet. Just go to my Twitter at the Hypocrite or Give and Take. You can search it. You can find it.
You can find it. It's also ugly on Twitter. Also, check my Twitter. Follow my Twitter. I made my avatar is Phantom. It's Phantom's face. He's going like, huh.
It's a nice face. It's a nice little face.
It's a good face. I like. I did other ones too. I did a bunch of talk sprites, portraits for him and a couple other. There's a couple other. Mostly it's Phantom that talks in the game, but there's a few other characters that talk. It's pretty fun. Yeah, that's it. All right, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go give a fucking stupid gift to a guy I barely know. Lol. Let's fucking get out of here. All right, bye.
Bye. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Ho ho ho. Ching 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 ching. Eleazar, put in sleigh bells. Sleigh bells. Snow sounds.
Just loads of sleigh bells. Too many.
Yeah, fuck it up. Just fuck that shit up. Okay, bye.
Bye.